The issues of binge drinking, extended pub trading hours and street violence have been hot topics on the national political agenda in recent years. Today, the New South Wales Police Association released graphic surveillance camera video of late-night violence on the streets of Wollongong in support of its campaign to limit late-night trading hours in the city. They're citing the success of a similar restriction in the city of Newcastle, but in the run-up to the state election, neither the Keneally Labor government nor the opposition is supporting the push for earlier closing hours. This report from Greg Miskelly contains images some viewers may find disturbing.
It's after 1 a.m. in Wollongong, and this is what passes for a late night's entertainment. Sadly, these pictures of drunken violence, starkly captured on CCTV, are not rare. Local police say this thuggery is typical of what to expect on any weekend.
There are numerous amounts of licensed premises in a very, very small area. The problem is that everyone comes to this small area, and when you put a lot of people in one small area that have had a lot of alcohol to drink, inevitably there are going to be problems, and we see that on a very regular basis. Just calm down.
According to police, the problem is related to the late closing of Wollongong's hotels.
Most of our very serious assaults take place after 3 o'clock. We capture a lot of offences on CCTV footage within the Wollongong CBD, and it's clearly obvious that the people that are committing these offences are very intoxicated.
250 kilometres to the north of Wollongong is another large industrial town, Newcastle.
When I first saw the footage in Wollongong, it was easily could have been Newcastle. A mall where there are a lot of people at night, but no shops trading, but a lot of young people wandering around and ending up in fights. Some of them are very severe assaults that cause lifelong disability or death.
But in 2008, residents won a legal battle to restrict the operating hours of late-night venues. Today in the Newcastle CBD, there's a lockout at 1:30am, followed by complete closure at 3:30am. We've seen again and again.
Yes.
Kipros Kipri is a medical researcher who recently published a major study on the Newcastle reforms. His statistics show a massive decline in violent assaults.
To see such a large reduction was a surprise. We saw a third reduction within the 18 months that followed the restriction that was brought into place in March 2008. The overall reduction was 37%, but it has its most marked effect after 3 a.m. when people are starting to go home.
Police in Wollongong are demanding a similar arrangement to Newcastle.
There is, on any conservative estimate, somewhere between 50 to 70% of what we do as police connected to alcohol use or alcohol abuse.
Today, the New South Wales Police Association made a plea to have tougher restrictions on hotel closing hours across the state. They want it addressed as part of the current state election campaign.
Police officers, emergency service workers are out there on the front line every night, and we're seeing graphic violence like this. Enough is enough. We need the politicians to actually come forward and make some policy decisions before this election.
But neither the Coalition or Labor government support the push for early closing reforms.
Why the hell do hotels have to be open between 3 and 5?
Anti-corruption activist John Haddon is a former independent MP for the South Coast. He's now running for the New South Wales Upper House and says political action has been hampered by the alcohol lobby.
It's costing the life and the future of our youth. And I'm telling you what, I'm really seriously worried about that, and I'm saying to our political leaders, I'm totally disgusted with you that you haven't got the guts to stand up and do something about it.
The hotel industry says closing pubs early is not the solution.
Pubs are actually one of the safest places to go out. It's concerning to see that we're seeing police assaulted at house parties. We're seeing the purchased and arrested for drugs ever on the increase and on the rise. We're dealing with social issues in that respect, but we're really proud of our record now on pubs at the moment. They're often one of the safest venues you can go to.
What it is that I want to see is the licensees who are few in number but who are rogue traders accept there is a responsibility that extends beyond the front doors of their premises.
With the national cost of alcohol abuse estimated at $36 billion a year, police are hoping this CCTV footage gives policymakers an impetus for change.
The police at Wollongong are very frustrated about the lack of apparent action. We just feel that we should have a result by now.
We spend millions of dollars on research, on programs to improve all sorts of health outcomes. This is something where we don't need more science, we don't need more research. What we know is that restricting closing times will reduce assault rates. To pay the price of a severe injury or death is, a pretty severe price to pay for a night entertainment.
That report from Greg Miskelly.